ONEFOUR, Say It Again, featuring ASAP Ferg. Crazy. Highly anticipated. It sounds like they're going with drill. And the only reason I mention that is because I wasn't too sure what kind of style they were going to go in with here. But it sounds like they're on a drill thing. Savage 2014, Sonder Films.
Everyone saying we ain't in the field.
JM's with the Balmain top there, spinning. Look at that. That shot there, organic. Looks cold.
I said it before, I'ma say it again. All of that talk to spray your friends. Everyone saying we ain't in the field. But in the streets, we don't need to pretend. Hanging with them, well, it depends, cuz. If you wanna end up like them, cuz. I suggest you start wearing a vest, like, cuz we'll pull up Batman for the. I said it before.
That's a different kind of delivery than what we hear, JM's do that. I can't. Does he have auto-tune on his voice?
We ain't in the field, but in the streets we don't need to pretend. Hanging with them, well it depends, cuz. If you wanna end up like them, cuz.
And it depends, cuz. And wanna end up like them, cuz. That could so easily be turned into like a little Uzi Vert little thing there or something. You know, like that. Like that's different than what we hear JM's do. I'm unsure about it, but I like it. Contradicts myself completely there, but still.
Suggest you start wearing a vest, like, cuz we'll pull up Batman for the. Said it before, I'ma say it again. All of that talk to spray your friends. Everyone saying we ain't in the field, but in the streets we don't need to pretend. Hanging with them, well it depends, cuz. If you wanna end up like them, cuz. I suggest you start wearing a vest, like, cuz we'll pull up Batman for the chest up. Telling rest up, cuz.
So JM coming with a hook there. Still on that bold shit. Still on that what? You think we're just music? Get out of here, man. We'll still pull up. Wear a vest, car. Man might pull up still. Like, we're still knee deep in the mud.
Next up, that I've been on the best buzz. Living my best life, got this thick bitch on my shoulder, what dick does. Gang pulled up and let about 6 pump. I ain't talking about fist pump, cause we trying to see 6 up. Heard they calling for peace now, but they shouldn't have dissed us. I was pissed off now.
So there's this thing back and forth, right? We're going to assume ONEFOUR are talking about 21 District here. And 21, I have mentioned this as well about you, man, like reaching out for peace. We ain't on that. But now you got ONEFOUR saying you were the one reaching out for peace, but you shouldn't have dissed us. Unless that's referencing somebody else. Oh no, man. I feel like it's just everyone against ONEFOUR. I feel like this is the moment when Chip went at 6 different MCs in one diss track. This is the moment when Getz was in at Fuck Radio and he had bare MCs against him. That's how it feels. Like, it just feels like ONEFOUR versus the world at this point.
Pissed off again, no fuck that. How dare these fuck but try and play with my bread. Soon as we touch them, we learn. He's screaming enough, I believe it at that. I told him stop tripping, listen, he's so calm. I'm letting off just to see through his back. If he taking off, he ain't fit for the drama, yeah.
I don't know how I feel about this auto-tune. I don't know how I feel about it. I want to hear JM just rap. I don't know. But maybe it's one of them ones, the more you listen to it, the more you like it. But I don't know. I feel like I'd prefer it so much more if JM was just rapping straight through. For the hook, different story. I can understand for the hook. But I don't know here.
This starts, I was pissed off now, pissed off again. No, fuck that. How dare these fuck but try and play with my bread. Soon as we touch them, we learn. He's screaming enough, I believe it at that. I told him stop tripping, listen, he's so calm. I'm letting off just to see through his back. If he taking off, he ain't fit for the drama, yeah, yeah. No, fuck that, hey, listen up. I said it before, I'ma say it again. All of that talk to spray your friends. Everyone saying we ain't in the field, but in the streets we don't need to pretend. Hanging with them, well it depends, cuz. If you wanna end up like them, cuz. I suggest you start wearing a...
that light little bit of melody there, I like that actually. I like that a lot. Yeah, that's gonna grow on me. Maybe the verse will as well, but I weren't feeling it first time around. I want to hear what Spenny's gonna do with this. I really want to hear what Spenny's gonna do.
But in the streets we don't need to pretend. Hanging with them, well it depends, cuz. If you wanna end up like them, cuz. I suggest you start wearing a vest, like, cuz we'll pull up Batman for the chest up. Tell him rest up.
14, carrot that gliss on the teeth. 14 hours from LA, I landed in Sydney, I'm hitting the streets. $900 for them shows up in Prada, I cop 'em and hop in the V. Machiavelli. Trap, load on the belly, the pocket me. You niggas stay jacking my steez. Your bitches TikToking to me.
Wait, is Ferg using fucking... I always thought steez, being steezy. I always seen that as an Australian term. Am I right in saying that's Australian slang, or is that American slang and I'm just not too familiar with it? I ain't too familiar with like American slang for the most part. Like, obviously, debate, like, you know what I mean, what you see in the movies and shit. But in terms of like Real hood shit. I don't listen to that much American stuff, nor do I speak to that many people from America, etc., etc. So, Steez. I always thought that was an American, an Australian thing. I never thought that was an American thing. I don't know. Let me know.
Load on the belly to pocket me. You niggas stay jacking my steez. Your bitches TikToking to me.
Yeah.
We hit butter, throw us a party, invite all the Aussie freaks. All of my brothers mobbing deep because I'm the prodigy. Black car from there, chicken for free, can't starve a G. Word, Fergie got a mansion in the suburbs. Corona the virus flow, give me a meal when I spit these germs. I try to be young, driving the Uber.
Again, these Corona bars, we're gonna hear a shitload of them.
With a silky perm. I gotta get money, I cannot be bummy, I got to get this work. I said it before.
Work. What? You know what? I can't lie. ASAP Ferg, Work remix. Favorite track of his.
I'ma say it again.
Probably his most favorite.
Everyone saying we ain't in the field, but in the streets we don't need to pretend. Hanging with them, well it depends, cause if you wanna end up like them, cause I suggest you start wearing a vest, like, cause we'll pull up at me for the. Said it before, I'ma say it again. All of that talk to spray your friends. Everyone saying we ain't in the field, but in this.
I'll just say it now. The shot that was on the stairs where Ferg spit most of his verse. That's what. That's obviously when we seen the first pictures of anything being leaked and everything. So. Yeah, now we get to see what the final product is. Interesting.
We don't need to pretend, hanging with them. Well, it depends, cause if you wanna end up like them, cause I suggest you start wearing a vest, like, cause we'll pull up at for the chest. I'm telling you, that these games change. A lot of people showing fake love. Can never say the streets change me, cause I've been this way since young. Cause I'm living life like a pimp now. Came a long way from the slums, came a long way from the trap, lad. Boy, I fell in love with my pump. And like I said, I did this shit.
Is that a contradiction of JM saying, like, we're still in the field? And that's in the hook, by the way. We're still in the field. We're still doing our shit. To then Spenny saying, look, I've come a long way from there. Is he saying, I've come a long way from there in terms of money, but I'm still about? Or is he saying, I've come a long way away from there in terms of what I'm doing now? Like, I'm not doing that shit no more. It's important to understand that context because I've always talked about it plenty of times before about artists contradicting themselves on the same track. I hope that... On some real life shit, I hope he is away from that because I want him to just make music and I don't want any more of the ONEFOUR members locked up. But for the sake of this song, I want to say I've come a long way from there, but I'm still on my crud.
Often when he's down and out, I'll be stomping. People claim I've gone Hollywood, but I'll put a boy in his coffin.
And that just shut down everything I just said. Continue. Business as usual.
Cause his 45 is still popping. Got big stacks in my pocket. And I'll slap it all like it's stock. Then tell him stop there, tell him stop it. Cause they're running out of luck. My son don't really give a fuck. When Marcus shoot, you better duck. Fell in love with the game and running mugs.
Even Spenny's coming in with this little melody thing. I don't know how I feel about it, people. I'll be real.
I said this drama for after with a Jilly, I'm quick like a banner. They came, they smoked this and they smoked that, so we left them with lava. I put your ears in, motherfucker! I said it before, I'ma say it again. All of that talk to spray your friends. Everyone saying we ain't in the field, but in the streets we don't need to pretend. Hanging with them, well it depends, cause if you wanna end up like them, cause I suggest you start.
See, the bit that I was unsure about most is the bit that now sticks in my brain the most. So yeah, ratings.
Wearing a vest, like, cause we'll pull up at me for the. I said it before, I'ma say it again. All of that talk to spray your friends. Everyone saying we ain't in the field, but in the streets we don't need to pretend. Hanging with them, well it depends, cause if you wanna end up like them, cause I suggest you start wearing a vest, like, cause we'll pull up at me for the chest up. Tell him rest up.
This is big, man. This is still huge. Huge for ONEFOUR, man. ONEFOUR representing Mount Druitt, Western Sydney, man. Shout out everyone. The fact that I'm gonna say I'm not feeling these verses as much as some of their previous tracks, I know is gonna trigger the fuck out of some people. And I understand why. ONEFOUR have got an extreme amount of love right now. And this could arguably be their peak, you know? Obviously, I just have a small sneak feeling that they're just gonna keep rising from here. But at the moment, you could argue this is their peak. Some may disagree with that and say that the message was their peak and spot the difference in Lads in the Hood, but you know, in terms of exposure, this is their moment. Like, even if they collaborated with a UK artist, there's only 3 to 5 artists in the UK that could give the amount of exposure to ONEFOUR that ASAP Ferg can. And that's because the American market is just way, way bigger than the UK market, whether we like it or not. And both of those markets are way, way bigger than Australia's market. And That's just a fact. However, this is a big win for Australia because ONEFOUR have already touched an international audience, and not just the UK and America, we're just talking worldwide. But for them to be collaborating with someone like ASAP Ferg, it brings a lot of attention, especially an American audience, a lot of attention on what they're doing. And there's going to be a lot of people just like me around 2 years ago now that goes, Australia rap, Australia grime, Australia drill, what the fuck? Like, and people go and check it out. And lo and behold, some people are going to go some people are going to fall in love with it, and they're going to look into it, and they're going to check deeper, and then next thing you know, you've got somebody else who's checking out 10 to 20 to 50 different artists that they keep up with on a regular basis. Now, don't confuse opportunity with execution. For example, there's been people who have collabed with big artists before, and yeah, that individual track gets nice numbers, that individual track gets a lot of love, but then when it comes to their own individual stuff, have they really got that love there, and do those same people come back to check them? But it's fair to say that ONEFOUR have a big enough audience as it is before this track. Like, ONEFOUR have built themselves up to this point in the first place. It's about how they execute that. Now, that's not for me to judge as an individual, that's for the market to judge. For me, if this was my first time checking out ONEFOUR, I might not go and check them out any further. Like, this song is decent, but it is definitely not in the top half of their catalog, in my opinion. And that's just because I prefer straight up rap, say some dumb, utter, bold shit with your chest over something that's slightly more melodic. And there's nothing wrong with being melodic. It's a well-known fact that I don't really enjoy the modern American trap rap sound. I just don't. Really, like, out of America, I prefer the J. Coles and the Kendricks and the Benny the Butchers and Royce the 5'9". I prefer that kind of market as opposed to the Little Uzi Verts, the little baby X's. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not for me. It's just not within my taste. And I've been consistent with that across all different types of music. If you find other reactions of mine that follow a similar formula to this, I'll say pretty much exactly the same thing. Like, I'm not bringing this up out of the blue just because it's ONEFOUR. With that being said, this might cater to more people than their previous music. And if that's the case, boy, these man are gone. Clear, gone. It's difficult for me to actually tell because I'm checking this out only 2 hours after it premiered and it's only on 45,000 views. So Ferg fits into this track pretty well in my opinion, and maybe that's why ONEFOUR made them slight changes. Maybe that's why JM made them changes to allow Ferg to be able to do something that he's comfortable with. Maybe Ferg said to these men, look, if you want to reach the American market, this is what I need you to do. I don't know the reasons behind the changes. It could just be for the sake of experimenting and nothing more than that. And again, I'm not criticizing it, I'm just speculating on why there might be a change, because there is a change and you can hear that evidently. Is JM's or Spenny in the wrong for doing a little melody auto-tune thing? No, in no way, shape or form they're in the wrong. I think a lot of people are probably going to prefer it, and I think a lot of people are going to really enjoy that. There's going to be a small market of us that perhaps don't enjoy that as much. Do I dislike this song? No. Do I love this song? No. It's a decent song. But maybe it will grow on me over time, and maybe that's where the strategic move to make it a little bit easier to follow along will be. But it's not like it weren't easy enough to follow along when YP was saying retaliation is a must, ain't no maybe, ifs or buts. So that's all I'm going to say. And as just touching on that very quickly, obviously free up YP, free up Sully, free up Lex, and the rest of the ONEFOUR team, YP was missing from this track. I'm just going to say that now. YP was missing from this track. Because I think I would have been happier even if JM's and Spenny had exactly the same verses, but YP come through on his shit. On just an absolute shithousery of a verse. I feel like that's what it was missing. I feel like it was missing just an utter, rude, just a bar of a state. It was missing that one-liner moment in this track. I think that's what's happened. For me personally, but that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. My music is all linked down in the description below and on Spotify, of course. Appreciate all the support. I'm probably going to get this video out to you in the morning for the UK. So it will be out, obviously, now for you guys. Not my usual upload time, but yeah, thought I'd get this one out as soon as possible. So yeah, appreciate you guys for watching this video all the way through, and yeah, I'll talk to you, man, later.